Action on the camera!
You forgot the fan in the chamber!
Let's go, bub. Rookie.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
Right, we kill the music, and here we are. Yep, and my mic is unmuted. Okay, great. Just making sure.
I gotta check that every time now.
I'm getting a little paranoid about it because I went, it was last year or something. I think we went like half a game where everybody could hear me just fine, and like I was totally muted. So I went back. I'm like, oh man.
How embarrassing.
Yes, it was. It was. So, anywho, we are back and live again, this time with Modern Age Heroes. And why doesn't... you know what? Actually, before we do that, it is the beginning of the month. And we need to roll for some karma. So, some folks here need to be getting some XP. Who wants to do that?
Roll for
I'll
it.
do it.
Oh, go ahead.
Let's see. That's a D10 times 50. All right, so that's 7 times 50. That's 350 for us.
Nice. There you go.
Each, right?
Yes.
Tree fitty.
That is right.
You know what he asked for? About 350.
How about tree fitting?
I'm gonna bank 350 over to my strength.
Okay. Remember, you can only have one thing banked at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're working on improving your strength. Perfect.
Yeah.
So now would be the time to declare that too, if you guys are going to start banking any.
I'm not.
And
karma.
then to go from 10 to 20, I need 2,000, right?
You do, yes.
Okay. The reason why I'm double checking is just to be on the safe side when it comes to this. I don't
Yep.
want to.
Yeah, there's zero problem with you guys double checking with me. I'm never going to get tired of that. It's just good housekeeping. So.
Ooh. Hey, so my mimic because I've been banking and that puts it at 650, and it cost me 600 to get to typical.
Okay, so you are going to typical then?
I'm going to typical with a continued bank of remaining of 50.
Okay, so you're just basically going to turn right around and bank the rest on the next level.
Yes.
Okay, that works.
Go ahead.
I'm going to place 300. Give me a total of 600 for teleport.
Okay. Oh, geez, because your teleport is big, so...
Wait,
That-
Bigger.
we can when we're spending, we can spend up to 100 on a dice roll, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
So I'm not going to have anything banked. I've just got I've got a total of 55 karma.
Okay, so you're going to hold on to that then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm keeping it fluid for now.
That is totally fine.
Cool.
Apropos for your character.
What's
See,
that?
I actually have 255 karma in my regular pool, just that way I don't lose it accidentally again.
What do you mean in your regular pool?
Well, you don't have a regular pool. You have your regular karma that you can pull from, which could be subject to the accidental killing and or property damage and so on and so forth. And then you have whatever you've banked on a particular ability or whatnot, and that is untouched.
That's the reason I looked up this way. Oh wait, where is he on the actual thing? He's over here on the thing.
Yeah. When you're banking and stuff, where to go? If you like banked a few hundred for something, but then there was like a talent that you wanted to get that only costs 100, but you banked your stuff for like a power you were increasing, could you still spend 100 karma from your regular karma amount on getting the talent?
Oh, you can still get anything else. Yeah, you just can't bank anything. So, like, say for example, maybe you put. Let's use that example again. You had 350 put to strength or whatever, kind of like what Justin just did. But you had 600. Like maybe you guys just did something super big and you haven't done anything with it yet. And you're like, there's a talent I want. Maybe I want to bump up my fighting. Maybe it was a typical 6 and you want to bring it up or something. You've got enough. Yeah, you can do that. The bank is just what's dedicated specifically to that one ability or power or whatever that can't be touched for any reason. You can't pull away from it. You can only add to it.
So you have
You can't substitute that for something else.
and a savings account.
Yes. A savings account for whatever rainy day you have opted it for, and that is the only rainy day you can have. Be it fighting or a power that you're leveling up or whatever. So to go from 100. So you're trying to get, what's your teleport at? Isn't it 100?
Port is at 30. Remarkable 30.
Your teleportation's at 30? I thought it was a lot larger than that. Oh, maybe it was your agility. Okay. Never mind.
Her electrical generation or whatever is
it's
at
100.
High, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's at amazing 50.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
my agility is at an unearthly.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So it's the goal times 100.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you get way up there at like MN75 and UN 100, it becomes ungodly to get the karma for it, which makes sense.
Okay, so if I'm going for
the treasure
10, then it's 1,000.
If your target is 10, yes. So it's 100 times. It would be 100 times 10.
Okay.
Like I just want to pour to typical, and it cost me 600 because it's typical 6.
Right.
Okay.
Which works out because that means if you've got some average or bleh kind of scores, you can get those up relatively fast. But when you start getting above like GD10 and EX20, it starts getting pretty hard to get those bumped up. So I like that as opposed to what we were doing before. So that's a little bit more fluid. But
what would a standard human strongman, like just putting it at his strength comparison?
You mean the world's strongest man at like fairs and whatnot?
Yeah,
if he was being legit, he would have an EX20. That is the max human potential that any human can get without any sort of enhancement on top of it.
Oh, okay. So like the average person would be typical then.
Average person, yeah, that's literally what the namesake is there for. Yeah, anything above that is a little bit better, above average, or excellent, so on and so forth. Humans typically max out at EX20 for almost everything.
for lack of anything, like, I mean, aside from anything that we might be personally, like our personal selves poor at, whether it's like endurance or, you know, strength or agility or something like that, or fighting, but we would pretty much all have like typicals plus or minus one, give or take, as regular humans, right?
Yeah.
Except my psyche's EX20.
I was just thinking, except like obvious powers like telepathy, like normal humans don't do that.
Right.
So
Right.
Not even Madame
my brain
Cleo.
was just amused at that idea.
The
So
two
human level telepathy.
the two physically strongest men that we've known that's pulled a dead weight has only gone up to 500 and 501 pounds. So it would be remarkable.
Remarkable is 1 ton.
Oh, sorry, then excellent. I got the things around.
Yeah, no, I have those memorized because that was something super important to me back when I was playing a lot. I was like, ooh, that's really cool. EX20 maxes out at 800, I believe. That is max human potential minus any sort of like enhancement, like steroid and so on and so forth. All right, so
I think Eddie Hall and Bjornsson or Thorson might have some words with you about that. Oh, let me call him the Mountain. I can't remember his name right now. Everyone knows him as the Mountain.
So
both of them have pulled half a ton.
Well, that's pulling. I'm talking bench.
I don't know how much they benched.
Either way, we do have a hard stop time tonight, so we need to get in character. So, what does somebody want to do the recap real quick?
Yeah, since I haven't been here for 2 weeks or 2 times. Yeah.
Let's see.
I forgot.
Ooh. Okay. I need to do my power stunt. So I think it's been about a week since we rescued what's his face?
Shield, yeah.
Shield.
Yes.
So Blood Goblin's legal case. She has been acquitted due to a legal malpractice that she or her team uncovered on the opposition side. So she is in the wind. Thank you, Stephen P. New.
Stephen P. New.
Oh yes, breaking news. Dr. October broke into the quantum office and stole some computer data. So we went down there in our alter egos and checked it out. Did a lot of just research to figure out what that might be about. So we still got a lot of pieces to put together. We talked to some detectives. We tried to figure out if there's a connection with the drone that you guys brought back to HQ. All commands have been erased.
We talked to the commander, Captain America stand-in.
Oh yeah, so we got a call from Alpine, who said that he's out of his coma if we wanted to talk to him. So we went to interview him.
I forgot his name. I'm sorry.
Didn't get a whole lot. Shield.
He's Joe Higgins, I think, right?
He is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also a Golden Age superhero pulled from public domain.
Yep.
So he didn't have anything extra to fill in on our questions. Really, there wasn't a whole lot of new information, but that's about all I've got. Anyone else?
Let's see. Angler put a saltwater aquarium in the vein. Apparently for his
Oh yeah, for his
thing.
pearl. We
Yeah.
still don't. He still hasn't told us that it's been giving him problems.
And he has
Right.
not shared. That is correct.
Does he have any fish in the aquarium?
No, he does not.
Is it big enough for him to get in himself?
No.
So we have no idea what it's there for.
Right.
Okay.
It would definitely be big enough because these would be easier to obtain. It'd definitely be big enough for fish. And since it was geared specifically for salt water, a little bit larger fish.
But nobody's asked him
Yeah.
if / why he's installed an aquarium.
That is correct.
Although the pearl can occasionally be seen in it.
He randomly sticks his head in there and he's like.
And if anyone asks him why there isn't fish in there, it's just that he can't afford any at the moment.
Okay.
Sometimes amphibious people just need a breath of fresh water.
True.
Still no luck on my power stunt. In case you were wondering.
What's that?
Still no luck on my power stunt.
Okay.
And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to do to develop the plasma into instead of just the generation, but into manipulation as well.
Yep. So you're working on your shield again.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Okay.
That was a 25.
So first thing in the morning, you guys wake up to hear more loud noises of expulsion coming from your danger room as something is slamming up against the wall, and probably some cursing.
Did you guys decide where I was?
You were shopping in New York.
Tupperware party.
Tupperware party? Okay.
Hey, tis the year. It's still possible.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good point.
Yeah, my mom was a Tupperware lady, so yeah.
Or
Or
perhaps
Avon.
like Avon, or what was the other one?
Mary Kay.
Mary Kay.
Mary Kay.
Mom did Mary Kay.
Yep.
Yeah. Mom did it all. Anyways, okay.
With hearing the danger room explosion sounds, Hyperion, because he's always awake doing something, he'll head on over to see what's happening in there.
He's gonna go investigate too, because it's morning time and that's workout time.
Okay, well, if you're investigating yourself, that's fine. But yeah, that was you.
Oh, it was me?
You're working on your power stunt, yes. So
Okay.
Hyperion, you walk in there, and it is Angler, up early, clearly working on something. The wall is still kind of illuminated from the heat generated from, whatever blast he was emanating, at it or whatnot. And you're already used to the frustrated look of Angler. He's been rather frustrated a lot lately over various things.
Have the wounds healed yet?
Yes.
Okay. Then yes, he is topless in this moment.
Okay. So
Well,
then looking, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it matters whether or not you see him without a long sleeve shirt on.
Okay. All right. So yeah, just taking a look and going, I see you're practicing again, Angler. Any particular technique you're working on?
Trying to be able to use this for more than just hurling plasma at people. After the accident, I don't want, if I can trap someone's feet down with a different type of plasma than just burning a hole through their feet. That might be nice to do. Control it well enough to weld a a mechanical person to the ground would be very good.
See, could you not do that with a simple blast rather than changing the fundamentals of the beam?
But we could also use it to shield ourselves. So if we're being attacked by someone, generate a plasma field around us and watch their attacks melt away into nothingness.
I see. So more of a shield then.
Just control over it to a stronger degree.
If you need any technological assistance with focusing the beam or changing the characteristics of it, I may be able to help.
I'm just trying to get to where I can shoot it out and he'll put his hand out and he'll try to do it again. I'm not going to roll for it, but he'll try to do it again and it just forms the bolt and shoots out. If I can get the bolt not to shoot out, that'll be step one. This is a control issue, not a technology issue.
Understandable. Keep in mind, technology has always been used in order to enhance control or augment intensity. It could be possible if you're looking to produce a specific effect that I could run some tests and perhaps create something that could be attached to your armor, allowing you the ability you're looking for, such as creating a shield.
Now hold on to your money. We might need it for other purposes later.
Very well. Let me know if you change your mind.
I'll do that. I was raised very much with the mentality of mind over matter. In this case, I think it's much more literal than it's intended to be.
I see what you mean. Please keep in mind, you are not alone. You are on a team, and you can rely on the rest of us if you need to.
Absolutely. He is not wearing the pearl at the moment.
Okay.
It is in the saltwater fish tank.
And have you increased your strength yet?
Mine? No.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I wasn't too sure. All right.
I'm still super short on that. I have 6,000 or 650 out of 2,000.
Oh, hey, thanks for the cheer there, party of two. Gave us 100 biddies. Yay!
Nice. So then I say, I noticed you've placed your pearl in the tank you've installed in the vein. Is there a reason for that?
I found it in the ocean, thought it might like the ocean. You can never tell if any, I don't know if it's magical or not, but it seems to help me with some of my powers. I figured putting it in salt water might make it a happy pearl. I just don't know if it's Cynthia or not, so I've been leaving it in there when I can.
At some point, I would like to test it, if you don't mind, just passively, of course. But I do agree with your summation that it's probably of a magical nature rather than technological.
Mm-hmm. Scans I'm fine with, just don't break it. I've had that thing a long time.
Understood. Carry on. Let me know if you need anything. I turn and then head back to the computer room.
Okay.
He'll keep practicing. And he'll start aiming at different parts of the wall. That way he doesn't accidentally burn a hole through the walls.
All right. So the alarms in the base start going off.
Run to the computer bay to see what the alarm's about.
Yeah, you're already like on your way at that point. So you just hop, skip, and a jump. And at that point, you see Shone walking in from the platform.
Does it look...
She's got like bags of stuff.
Okay. Does it look like she tripped the alarm or she just happened to be there at the same time?
I probably tripped it. Would be probably your first guess. You know, the system is clearly not used to teleportation into the vein.
Okay.
Which that may be some modifications you need to do to adjust for that, because you know it's already got the field to prevent it.
Right.
But she probably just used the flight platform where the strike craft is at, the transport.
Okay. Then I'm looking through the security logs real quick just to make sure it was her, and then if it was, I cancel that out, stop the klaxons, and start working to see if I can modify
Yeah, the
that.
computer even registers that it was her. So it
Okay.
just, you're probably going to need to add a protocol to it or something to, make her quote unquote official. But other than that, yeah, I mean, it clearly delineated that it was her on the platform.
Okay.
He'll
Then
check
while
with
I'm-
Hyperion to make sure that everything's okay. And once he gets it's okay, he'll just keep going back to what he's doing.
Yep, yeah, I give the okay, and then while I'm working on creating the new protocol, I'm like, Shone, good of you to arrive. How was your break?
Yeah. It was good. Got some shopping done. Sorry about that. I didn't realize the alarm would go off.
Understandable. It seems that there were no regular teleporters here. I'll simply modify the security protocols. You shouldn't run into that problem in the future.
So, have I missed anything?
We have recently undergone a few minor adventures. Primarily, my company, Quantum Unlimited, was attacked by Dr. October, and he stole some information, primarily a shipping manifest. Authorities are working on it. Immediately after that, we found that Shield woke from his coma. We had a face-to-face conversation with him and gleaned some information about his activities in the past during World War II, fighting other superpowered beings. Beyond that, it's been relatively quiet.
Like I missed all the fun.
Explosion.
I take it Angler's back there again.
Frankly, he is always back there again. Yes, you're correct.
So is anybody else around? I brought goodies.
Since I'm pretty much almost always at the vein, is anybody else at the vein right now?
We'll say everybody is here at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
You know,
I have her home.
Yeah,
I think I'm
Ixion is definitely home. Lightbringer has probably been here, maybe like just got here, maybe for like 10 minutes or so, because she has her own place, with a roommate and whatnot, and it's just studious of her to make sure she goes back to keep the secret identity up and whatnot.
also there aren't really a lot of beds here.
True.
Yes, everyone is currently here.
I need a bucket.
Home sweet bucket.
It's extremely posturepedic.
Myself, Angler, Lightbringer, and Xenofreeze are all in different parts of the vein. I'll see if I can call them. Hyperion to Legacy. Please meet in the computer bay.
How close is that to the lab?
Everything is pretty much adjacent to the computer room. The way it's kind of built, the computer room would double as the living room if this was a house. Like almost everything is adjacent to it.
Because in my free time, I'm working on that nanotech, or at least trying to advance and develop it.
Why don't you go ahead and give me a reason roll?
Okay. We've got an 88.
Okay.
Okay.
And your reason is what?
RM30.
Okay. So with an RM30, you are aware that you are not going to be able to make the advancements that you are looking for without the tools to your ship.
Dag nabbit.
Unless you can find something comparable, you know for a fact you have specific macro and micro technology that allows you to zoom in like really, really close, on a biological level. And that would be super helpful for this, as well as slightly automated arms with like little pliers and whatnot that allow you to work on that scale from a biological standpoint, which would be super helpful for the robotics of the scale that you're attempting to do. And without access to your ship, you're not going to be able to pull it off. Outside of like, rough sketches of what it is you're trying to accomplish.
And am I able to do instead of the nanotech, it'd be like maybe relatively micro tech to try to hone my skills a little bit more, and then once, I mean, obviously nanotech
On a larger scale model? On a larger scale model, basically? Yeah. You could still try that.
Right. I mean, it wouldn't, like, I mean, for instance, if it was my suit, rather than being full size and nanotech to where it's able to like incorporate or whatever, similarly to what we would know as like Iron Man's modern suit, but something to where I could get it to where I have like a working model doll size, more or less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
then,
you could definitely. I mean, you'll need to get upgraded tools, but that is 100% within the capability of doing that here with earthly technology that you could put together.
Okay. Then I'll attempt to start looking into that, and then with Hyperion, talk to him about arranging that we can get that sort of stuff, and then of course let you know, Hyperion, that the technology for this nanotech, I am at a standstill without the technology from my ship.
I see. We may be able to at least get it to a microbot version rather than a nanobot version with tools that we can use and develop. What were you attempting to do with that technology?
Incorporate my suit to where it would not limit me to my phasing ability.
I see.
I am limited to the cloth going through without abandoning my uniform, my suit. If water could seep through it, I can seep through it. It might take me some time, but I can phase through cracks in a wall. However, with my suit, I'm limited to the cloth limitations.
Therefore, if your suit had a more fluidic nature as you do, it would be easier for you to use in all situations.
Absolutely. Although my skills of incorporating it have been very beneficial, in which I can encapsulate virtually anything, at least that doesn't need to breathe, to where we could store, smuggle, conceal multiple things within me without any compromise.
See, instead of a extremely small robotic solution, we could perhaps develop a more material science solution using non-Newtonian fluids in order to act as armor, yet would have a more elastic nature, such as you do. We can perhaps work on that soon.
Yes. Although I will continue to pursue my nanotechnology, because there are many, many applications that we could, of course, utilize that.
I agree. Shown, what was it that you had for us?
Just picked up a few trinkets for everybody. She's gonna hand out boxes to each one. Hyperion is getting a gold timepiece, like a
Pocket
one of
watch?
those. Yes, thank you. The pocket watch.
Okay.
Exion's getting John Lennon type glasses. Lightbringer, she's getting designer clothes, so she got a nice blouse. And Angler, she got him a flash drive of the 80s decade of heavy metal.
Girl, hope you rolled a dice.
So that's what she brought back from New York.
Okay.
I take them in my hand and they just disappear, and then reappear on my head.
They look good on you.
I have not quite mastered the details of the eyes. I believe that may be one of my telltale points when I am striving to mimic that may give me away.
Well,
These actually will help out quite a bit until I can perfect it.
that's what I was thinking when I saw them. They could kind of help in your disguise.
I'm guessing I got a CD, not a flash drive.
No, it's one of those MP3 like drives that you can put in, and it's got like over 100.
They don't actually have that technology right now. Remember, this is the
Oh,
90s.
that's right. I
94,
keep
yeah.
forgetting. Yeah,
Yep.
so CD.
Yep.
Yep.
So you would have a CD compilation. It's one of those it's one of those nice 2-disc compilation sort of things. Greatest hits of the 80s.
I keep forgetting that we're in the 90s. Yeah. So no, yeah, make that a CD. The best of the 80s heavy metal.
It's got like some demonic, generic demonic logo, on the front sort of thing.
It's a statue of Baphomet.
Something like that.
Because-
Yeah.
Yeah, everything has to have the statue of Baphomet for some reson. Specifically to one church that created that specific statue, but I digress.
Thank you. This will be a very valuable addition to my professional wardrobe. So I appreciate that.
Tradition that when you go on a trip, you bring back goodies to your family.
And right as she says that, you hear the ever so familiar heels on the metal flooring approaching the computer room.
Turn around. Hello, Ms. McCall.
Hyperion, everyone.
Good morning.
I didn't do it. You don't have proof.
Feeling guilty already?
Probably going to be something that's my fault. It always is.
Yes. Well, in this particular instance, it has nothing to do with you, if that helps soothe your mind. She says just kind of rather blandly.
He is going to go over, grab the pearl, and put it back on the necklace.
Okay. So she sets down a manila folder with some old school tractor feed paperwork that's in there. The tractor feed, obviously has been judiciously, pilfered off of the pages because that's what you do at that point. Otherwise, it doesn't fit folders.
Are we showing our age with this?
That's actually half the fun of playing a game based in the 80s or based in the 90s.
Yeah.
So she opens it up, and it's just a text document with the writing on it. And it's only like maybe 2 pages. And she says, my contacts picked up something rather interesting that I thought the rest of you might want to know. There is scuttlebutt within the scientific community as to alloys that don't fit the spectrum. These alloys, which they don't currently have names for, are coming out of the Eastern European bloc.
Alien elements, maybe?
Quite possibly. Now, this is a stretch. However, most of the scientific community within the Eastern Bloc, such as Estonia, former Soviet bloc states, are woefully inept for this sort of thing, let alone being able to identify this. And that isn't a slant against them. It's just Soviet Union being what it is. We believe that this is a specific lead towards Kaliningrad, aka New Prussia.
Do
Would
we
the-
know what these alloys do?
We don't specifically, outside of the fact that they are non-magnetic in spectrum.
Is there any way we can get our hands on a sample?
Of character, is there similar? I mean, obviously, I don't know for sure, but do I have alloys similar to that from what it sounds like from my ship?
It would be hard to say without having a chemical breakdown of it.
Okay.
But you would know that your ship could quite have possibly been milled and manufactured from alloys that aren't off, that are off planet. That's not a huge leap.
They theoretically be able to, if they were in possession of his ship, would they be able to
Replicate.
disassemble it?
New Prussia? If I was a betting woman, I would say yes. Reichshield has been very aggressive in obtaining some of the smartest and wisest minds that he can find.
It is not very likely they would be able to adapt to the technology to directly connect to it, though, because of my biology. However,
I'm not going to weigh in on that specifically,
Could it be
Ixion, but
the content and the element, though, worst case in my aspect of trying to preserve my ship, my property, would, if they were to have resmelted some of the armaments or such things, it would be a possibility, though not 100% sure without having these things there. I do have a rudimentary understanding of the chemical makeup of my ship, but I'm a biologist more than a metal worker, but I would have that basic understanding.
Mhm.
Carver?
She says, I fully understand. I just wanted to provide you with this information for some context. This little bit of information could very well mean that your vessel is there. Or some other interstellar ship.
Well, whether or not extraterrestrials exist, I think we all have a firm agreement on that they do. The real question is do we know how many have visited our world? And how many of them may or may not have landed in different locations?
It is quite probable. I know of multiple races from beyond your stars. I am far from the only one. And some of them have much higher technology than I and my race. Others are capable of interspatial travel. However, they are not quite as technologically advanced as my people. However, with that being said, it is very likely that there have been multiple touchdowns on this planet. To what degree, it is hard to say. Though I have not, or I out of character, I haven't heard of any other studies done on Earth. Right, this was kind of my baby as far as my species. Right.
Yeah.
I say though I am unaware of any specifics for anyone else, as this planet was somewhat solely mine to research as far as my Salanth race has been concerned.
Ms. McCall, do we know how much of this material has been identified per your report?
No, we do not. The only reason why we stumbled onto this is because somehow the Soviets, or well, former Soviet states, stumbled onto this.
What are they doing about it? Do we know?
A little to nothing. They don't have the capability to do so. Many of them still live in fear that the Russian oligarchs are going to storm in and retake their nations, despite the pulling back of the Iron Curtain, so to speak.
Is there any way we can get a sample of it?
You could ask Reichshield.
Do you have his phone number?
No, I do not.
Do we know if he's operating within the United States wholly right now?
I would assume no. He's probably back home.
That, of course, doesn't prevent him from visiting here almost whenever he wishes. He has
Right.
teleported with individuals before.
Out of character, do we know, I forget if it was mentioned, if Dr. October was working for Reichshield?
No, there's never been a tie there that you're
Okay.
aware of. It's not something that's ever come up.
It would seem someone like him would be highly noticeable coming across through any domestic method of travel.
Yes, I'm sure that would be flagged.
But I don't think, based off of the humming sounds that we heard through the power lines and through whenever we visited Shield, that he has the ability to do intercontinental travel yet. Something that large seems like it would take a greater power source than what is immediately available.
It depends on the power needed. A nuclear power plant or two may be enough to generate a wormhole for teleportation. In fact, taking the ship may have been a reason for that as well. I would assume that for interstellar travel, it would take an incredible amount of energy.
Make a reason check.
Would there
Can I make a reason check as well?
Shion?
Sure. Shion.
Shion is from another dimension.
So reason is amazing, and I got a 76. Looks like yellow result.
Yellow as well. I got an 80.
Okay. Just rough estimates, like as you kind of quickly process through your head. Yeah, a singular nuclear generator of at least moderate size would be enough if you had the right boosting technology for the particles and whatnot, that you could make that jump no problem. That would give you intercontinental travel easily.
It's curious. It seems just offhand that it would take, I'm sure, a modified type, but less energy to travel interdimensionally.
That depends on the elasticity of the space-time continuum. We know that at least through Helioplin technology and means that they've created a permanent conduit, as Shone has explained. She herself traveled through it to reach here. However, my expertise is not in magic.
And there are others. I mean, it's just not mine. Because there's other, what you guys would call the Greeks and
Pantheons.
yeah, the other pantheons. They would use their own as well. So there are other, what you guys would call portals throughout the globe.
Seems that technology is able to use some sort of siphon for energy. However, the way that our technology on Earth works, it needs a constant supply, such as from a nuclear power plant. Using that plus some additional technology that may or may not come from Ixion's vessel would be enough to teleport virtually anything to virtually any location on Earth. This is a massive problem if it's completely within Reich Shield's purview.
I do not know if this is possible. Could we, Miss McCall, do you have any type of agencies that you know of outside of the United States that might be able to see if there was any blackouts or brownouts in New Prussia?
That would be extraordinarily difficult to obtain.
Just asking.
I'm just simply stating the logistical problem of such a thing. The United Nations might have some capability of doing that, although I have no contacts with them.
Maybe Alpine or Aegis might have an agent that's able to answer that question for us then.
It's
we
possible.
seem to be on good terms with Alpine and Aegis, and since we're working for Aegis, it gives us a foot in. Because it would have to use that power to generate the teleportation, whether it's a wormhole effect or dematerialization and rematerialization. It would have to use that power, I would reason, right?
I'm not the scientist of the group, but I would assume that your logic sounds fairly sound. That is assuming they only have access to one nuclear generator.
He will walk off and he's going to call Aegis.
Okay. Beep, 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 beep. On your boxy cell phone.
Or just the telephone nearby, the
okay.
landline.
From the computer, all right? So you get the plucky secretary. Nene here.
Hi, Nene. It's Angler. I was
wondering. Oh, hello, Angler. How are you doing today? Are you checking in for work?
We're gonna check in on that in a little bit, but we're seeing if we can't find out some information. Internationally, is there someone who I could talk to who would be able to source some information for me?
International. What are you looking for specifically?
Any type of power outages in New Prussia.
Oh, that is super specific. You know what? Let me go get our tech heads on the phone real quick and see if there's something we might have. Hold, please. Yeah, you get some like Kenny G playing. Na 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 na.
Hold on, it's the 90s. We got to do it right.
Yep.
Yeah, right. The handset phone.
Yep. So she comes back on the line. She says, "So we don't exactly have what it is you're asking for, but we may be able to pull some strings and, look at like maybe media outlets or something. Would that be sufficient?"
That might work. We're looking for a power outage and he'll give her a specific date and GMT time.
Okay, so we will cross-reference that, and I can't promise when we'll be able to get that to you, but I will send it down to our tech heads and see what I can kick out of them right pronto.
Thank you so much, Nene.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Say hi to the gang for me. And she just hangs up.
Absolutely, I will. Nene says hello. The techs over at Aegis is going to be looking into if they can't find any information about it, and looking into media outlets as well.
Excellent. In the meantime, we do need to assume Reich Shield is an extreme threat, becoming more of a threat to the world with every passing day and week. He is acquiring this technology, and if he can simply summon and send his armies anywhere on Earth with the press of a button, that could destabilize the entire world. Therefore, it would seem that we need to find ways of actually obtaining that information of what he has, what he's doing, who he's working with, see what his plans are.
Well, I will leave that up to you. I would strongly suggest against just showing up on his doorstep. But beyond that, I think that you are doing all that you can, and I will keep you informed if I find out anything of pertinence.
Much appreciated, Miss McCall.
Meredith,
Yes?
is there any update on what happened to those people that were shipped out of Fairview on the underground?
Those coming out of Fairside. I haven't
Right.
had a chance to look in. I know. I haven't had a chance to look in on that, but now that you remind me, maybe I can make a call to one of the other individuals that I work with and see if I can find some sort of trace. Because barring that sort of teleporting technology, which it doesn't sound like those individuals may have had access to, maybe there's something physical we can trace.
Can you look and see with your tech heads or your technology based department to see if there has been any, and I'm going to, like, does my ship operate at a higher frequency or lower frequencies, or that would more than likely be extremely low or extremely high in comparison to like regular like FM AM type scenario because of the capability of going so far. But if there has been any detection of possible wavelengths of extremes not normal to your standard equipment or communications, that may indicate otherworldly craft, such as my ship. Because
I don't have the capability of doing something like that. You would likely need to build some sort of sending and receiving unit here and monitor that directly. That's not something that they have, that I'm aware that they have tracking of. The United States government might have that through the FCC, but that would be strictly for the United States.
duly noted. I will get started on something like that, along with what we have here in Hyperion.
We should be able to build a transceiver, and if it needs additional power, we may be able to connect it to the generator here at the vein, and therefore pick up on the wavelength range that you know of, Fixion.
May be able to have it connect to me. Also, similarly to how my ship was navigated, I would actually, the best way to do it, to explain, would be incorporate myself partially into the ship, almost in a similar fashion to you plugging in to a computer.
Speaking of which, do you know, Ixion, if your ship would be able to receive frequencies such as commands without having to interface with it directly? If you were to send signals to it and it received it, would it be able to respond to you?
Don't look to me. You would know that.
I'm asking you, would I know that, or would it?
Mhm.
As far as my knowledge, yes,
Yeah.
it would.
He's basically asking, do you have a clicker? And yeah, for your advanced level technology, 100%. You have a
Okay.
limited range, but yeah.
Yes, it would be based on distance limitation, but I would venture to say within 50 miles, I should be able to get some sort of reading or reception.
Then
If not, maybe
perhaps
further.
building on the idea of the transceiver, we may be able to amplify its signal and increase its range. We'll see what we can do. Was there anything else you had for us, Ms. McCall?
None at this particular time. I will follow up on the missing individuals and see if I can come up with something.
Thank you for your interface. It has allowed at least me to think of other avenues in attempts to find my ship. I wish to get this technology out of the hands of those who would use it for ill. Not to mention, I would like the capability to go home at one point in time to see the status of my home.
She nods, and then at that point, she says, I will leave you kids to it then, and I will be in touch. And she turns and walks out.
All right, everybody, to the training room.
Did you have something in mind?
We need to be sharper, faster, and better than we were yesterday.
Agreed.
And then just for the next hour, he's going to train with them.
Okay. So I take it then everybody joins in as a team in the danger room for training. Okay. I'm not going to make you guys roll for it or whatnot, but yeah, you guys put in a pretty hard workout at this point with a yeah, exactly, as Davy
Jones
points
gets
out.
it.
Yep. Training montage. You're
You
the
need
best
a montage.
around. Nothing's gonna ever bring you down. Not the best. Heck yeah. So yeah, you guys are doing your thing, and shots are firing all over the place, and you're ducking or dip, dive, dodge, duck, and dodge.
Yeah.
Doing your best to keep up.
Philadelphian staircases that we get to run.
Getting peppered a couple times, here and there, or smacked or whatever, but you're getting adjusted to the flow and working out. And then you end up hearing coming from the main room, almost as if there's a power down sequence, but it emanated from the speakers, so it's not like you. Technologically speaking, it's a little unnatural sounding. Normally, a power down sound would be like everything shutting down. It's more like this actually came from the speakers, like.
No, that's unusual.
Mainframe is online.
I head out there right
Okay.
away.
It's unusual.
Same.
He's rocketing there.
Oh, so you go flying out there, zipping out. At this point, everybody's still kind of in their costumes, but sweaty with towels and whatnot.
What's going on?
Mainframe is online. You basically get answered. And it is that, like, emanating from the speakers, it's that very War Games Whopper sort of sound. It's very very robotic. Like, shall we play a game?
I headed to the computer to see what's going on.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's there. It's glowing like it normally does. It has monitors currently lit.
So it looks
Okay.
normal?
Yeah, nothing looks changed.
It just talks now?
It is well, it spoke when you said something.
I'm taking a look to see, like, within the database, if anything like accessed the computer while we were in the danger room.
Okay, give me a reason check. You can add your. I think you have computers, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so you're one column shift up for this roll.
Nice.
I'm finding that damn drone.
No, the drone is still actually sitting on the table at this point.
Anything glowing on it?
Nope.
How about
No, and
heaven?
in fact, the last you guys did anything with it, you pulled the board out to take a look at it. So it's like the board is kind of sitting next to it, as a matter of fact.
Okay, so then my effective reason would be monstrous,
Mhm.
and I got a 50, so green result.
Okay.
Almost yellow.
Yeah. So you see programming going on actively right now.
Can I tell what the programming is for, what it's supposed to be doing?
Hard to say. It's zipping by pretty quickly for your visual receptors to kind of pick up on, at least as far as like trying to follow what's being done. But active code is being written like as you're looking at it. So, but you're not seeing any sort of indicator that anybody has accessed it.
I'm looking around to see if any physical doodad has been plugged into the computer anywhere.
Nope, no one had.
Okay.
There's no evidence that it's been touched outside of like when you guys have last accessed it.
What's going on?
Technology hasn't. I haven't finished it yet, have I?
No.
Oh my. Okay. Even to the level of what we were thinking we could, but okay. Making sure.
Can I tell if the computer has received information, like if anything was transmitted to the computer and it's running off of that?
Yeah, with your score, you can tell that there's no IP trace of any nature, so there's been no outside access of any kind.
Okay.
A simple, TCP IP trace.
Okay. And I'm like, there doesn't seem to be any external tampering, but new code is being generated from within the system, trying to isolate to determine its function.
Is it a virus or?
Mainframe is functioning. Virus not evident.
Vane,
Why the hell are you talking?
can you explain what you're doing to the computer now?
Mainframe is active.
Have we oh, sorry, go ahead.
I should say, ask it a question that, dude, I don't know. It seems like it's alive.
AI a thing in the 90s?
Your brother is an AI.
Right.
Yes.
But yes, AI was a thing in the past. It was not as developed as it is today.
In comic history, yes. That's the one thing that's a little different, obviously, than our actual history. This is kind of going off of a comic-based history, which privatized technology, yes, they would probably have some sort of active AI, but but the most of the world would still realize it as like a Hollywood sort of thing. They wouldn't, kind of like behind a masquerade or veil or sort of thing. They wouldn't believe it, but the people in the know certainly would.
Vane, have you become self-aware?
You hear a chime. Mainframe is not Vane. Vane is the housing of the legacy.
Has the mainframe become self-aware?
Mainframe is active.
That's yes.
So Hyperion was working on like an AI thing bunch of episodes ago. I take a look at that right now to see if it is the thing that's actually interfacing and doing its thing with the mainframe.
Okay, so roll again.
He says, "Talk to me, or I'm going to nuke it."
Moment. Let's see. So 40. I think that's still green. Yes.
Okay. In fact, you see that it is compiling code based upon that.
I see. My machine I was working on an artificial intelligence design before in order to make the vein and its mainframe more accessible. It appears that it is successfully compiling itself and improving.
Is it gonna go evil on us?
It has no need to. There is no rational reason to do evil deeds. Nor would I program something like that or create any type of intelligent seed that would lead it to that.
Have you not read a single Asimov novel?
Asimov novels are written by human beings with prejudices. I am not such a being.
So shown on the screen is a threat assessment, and it's singling out Angler based upon that comment. It's compiling and it gives a threat assessment of 3.
3 on a scale of what?
Are you asking as you see it on the screen, or are you just asking me out of character?
I was going to say mainframe. What is the threat range capabilities?
Threat range capabilities are based upon DEFCON settings.
What is maximum threat level?
Maximum threat level is 1.
What is minimum threat level?
DEFCON 5.
Evidently, it has classified him as a moderate threat at this current point in time.
Mainframe, are you gonna go all scorched earth on us?
Define scorched earth.
Don't do that, please.
Mainframe. Without proceeding with any particular protocols, what are the protocols if there is a threat level 3, 2, 1, the various DEFCON levels? What is your protocols to fulfill in those situations?
Current defense protocols require mainframe to defend vein. Should protocol fall to 1, mainframe will self-destruct. Imperative technology and information be defended and terminated should need arise.
On internal threats?
Internal or external.
Can we set aside an exception for those in attendance at this current point in time as family?
Define family.
Mainframe. Register all beings present. Myself, Hyperion, Lightbringer, Xenofreeze, Angler, and Shone as registered authorized users of mainframe.
So it shows something on the screen. It says reg sum, and it starts writing off the specific names.
So we don't have an Asimov situation that's going to happen here.
We do not.
Okay.
Anticipated behavior, Mark?
I have based much of it off of some of my classical computing capabilities. However, this mainframe is not quite as advanced as I am when it comes to information processing. I possess a quantum cognitive processor, but it does not seem that the mainframe uses that technology, nor did I use quantum technology in creating the artificial intelligence. I believed that I would have needed more advanced processing equipment. However, it seems that my efforts were more effective than I believed they were. Mainframe. Ensure that no other users can access mainframe other than the registered users.
What about Meredith?
To be true, I would prefer that only founding members of the legacy, those in this room, would have direct access to this computer system. If she needs access, she can simply ask us. It would be, I would believe, more likely that she could be compromised and forced to use the system from a nefarious agent than trying to compromise one of us to do the same.
Interesting.
Do you disagree?
Not necessarily. I just see her as being an exceptionally resourceful person, and we're all sort of still new at this.
Then I leave it to a vote of the team. Do we believe that we should add Miss McCall as a registered user?
I'm too new to know if that would
I don't
be
have a
bad
preference
thing.
either way. I just
We can have people that are temporarily or at least semi-permanently listed as non-hostiles or welcome guests, so to speak, I would assume. That they would not have the administrative capabilities with the mainframe as we would. However, the mainframe would not recognize them as a threat, provided they did not come in to the facility in a hostile manner, specifically.
I think Hyperion would know because Active Directory was a thing. He could set up us as administrators and Meredith as a user with only read capabilities. She
Essentially
wouldn't be able.
was.
Yeah, she wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
edit or create, but she would be able to read the files that are already there, since she would already have some sort of access.
Of
And this is Justin speaking to the out of character, because that's something Hyperion would definitely know, because that's a pretty standard structure going back even to the 80s.
Yeah.
So just putting that out there.
Right. So I'd say we could provide Ms. McCall with more limited access, and the rest of us would act as administrators, having full access to add files, manipulate the system as we saw fit. However, she would simply be able to perhaps access the internet as it is, use simple communications, and read information rather than making alterations.
I find that acceptable.
Mainframe. Designate all current registered users as administrators with full access, and add Ms. McCall as a limited user with only read access.
Okay, so you see some commands go blurring across the screen as it
The Empower shell.
as it makes some updates, and then it blinks off.
Also, mainframe, redesignate Angler as non-threat and remove threat status from him.
Angler made active threat against mainframe.
no.
Mainframe, Angler made a mistake.
Define mistake.
Beings beyond yourself are capable of processing information in an incorrect, irrational manner.
So it updates Angler and it lists him as syntax error.
That will do for now.
I get the joke. Angler does not.
Angler's like, who is this syntax error? And why is he renaming me?
Team, I apologize for the confusion. I will do more to ensure that the mainframe now has better understanding of our capabilities and what it needs to do. And I start like kind of tapping away on the keyboard to make sure that its progress is going smoothly, that it's not making other like weird assumptions about people or like who are threats and what have you.
Right now, it's doing a lot of compiling.
Okay.
It pulls up on screen and it says, "Attention! Mainframe lacks adequate outside access.
Mainframe, explain your needs for outside access.
It explains, it shows speeds.
Okay.
Speeds crippled by 56.6 capability. Recommendation T1 line.
Understood. And looked at
That
the
was in the
team.
90s, did we?
We do
You're
need
breaking
to
me here,
upgrade our
Jerome. You're
facilities.
breaking me.
Character. It's like. What are you doing? I'm making a phone call. What does it look like?
One character at a time.
Is it mainframe? What frequency range are you capable of picking up at this current status?
It lists, so it just lists the on screen the frequency range.
Is it anywhere near what mine would be operating at?
Oh no, it's typical band wave that you would find from radio technology. Although it is equipped with ham.
Ham?
Yes.
But not chicken.
Green eggs.
Yes.
High five.
Specifically, kosher ham radio wavelengths.
Very nice. Well, that was a surprise.
It was, however, a somewhat pleasant one. I will make sure to obtain all the information we can from our mainframe to see what upgrades it needs. It does seem we need to update our entire facility as well. I understand living arrangements are subpar for most who are here.
Does that mean I'm going to be able to portal in and out without hitting a brick wall?
I believe that would need to stay in effect for security of everyone here in the vein. I apologize. I'm not sure of a way to bypass the teleportation interference field generators. Which reminds me, I do need to see if I can create, perhaps, a portable version that we can take on missions not to interfere with you, but to stop any further Captain Murder infiltrations or anything similar.
System that the mainframe could assist with? Or is it completely outside of the computer system?
I may be able to develop it to the point where it can act as a technology assistant. That will take at least some time.
I meant the field that prevents the teleportation specifically.
Yes. Is there any way they can tell that it's me doing the teleportation?
Jerome, can I tell from like how the uh, teleportation stopping fields work? Like, is there a way to modify that where specific teleporters could get through, or is it like it literally has to be turned off for teleportation?
The only way you could pull off something like that is to add an additional level of communication. Like if Shone wore some sort of tracker, and if it picked that specific tracker up nearby, then it would allow it could possibly allow for a teleportation to come through. But that would require essentially writing some code to allow for the field to go down temporarily to allow her to come through, meaning she would have to port someplace close, allow it to come down, and then port in. Basically leaving a window of opportunity for her to come in.
I can effectively create a proximity fob that you can either keep or keep on your armor shown, that when the system detects your presence, temporarily deactivates the field long enough for you to enter.
Yeah, we'll need to work with that, but I don't want, if I'm being chased, I don't want whoever's teleporting behind me to have a window to get in as well.
It's, as you say, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. If you were to teleport essentially to the door and you walked in, you would be less likely to have, we would be less likely to have the breach. However, with them being, if there was somebody to follow you through teleportation, they would be literally at our back door. But with your clearance to get in, at least we could, or at least you could, be able to hold yourself up within the vein. And that would not allow any moment of opportune for an exterior hostile source to teleport within the vein.
Okay.
Shown, out of curiosity, during your time, have you ever experienced another of your kind able to actually follow you in teleportation, knowing where you've gone?
If they have an idea where I might be going, yes. If if I'm just, randomly picking places, then no, there's no way that they could, to my knowledge, could trace me.
See. Then for the time being, to ensure security here, we will keep the field generators going. For you to enter, you will simply do what you've done before, to teleport nearby and enter through conventional means.
Okay, sounds good.
Can I tell how long it'll take mainframe to like do its compiling, or is it just like constantly adding new code to itself during
Right
the
now,
time?
it's constantly adding new code to itself.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, I shall try to gather a list of upgrades that we'll need to affix to the vein in order to increase its capabilities.
So what do we do about this non-Earth element that Meredith mentioned?
We can make the educated guess that it may be coming directly from Xenofreeze's ship, which means if we can locate the ship, we may be able to do something. At least one option would be, as Xenofreeze and I were mentioning earlier, to create a transceiver to see if we can make contact with the ship. Xenofreeze, do you know if you've been able, or does your ship have capability of receiving flight commands externally, like a remote control?
Like an autopilot?
Precisely.
It does have autopilot capabilities.
It does have
for
autopilot, but you would know it doesn't. It doesn't have remote control of that nature. That was a security feature built into those ships.
I would have to be essentially tapped in or logged in to the ship for the autopilot to take place. There are minimal commands. It's usually a trajectory or a course destination that the autopilot is able to do. Although there are, simple protocols for takeoff and landing in the event that the pilot is incapable. However, there needs to be a presence within to aid in simple commands or simple adjustments as needed, even if
Understood.
it is verbal.
Do you know what its defensive capabilities are, and would you be able to activate those via remote control?
May be able to enact the only thing that I can imagine other than what was already previously enacted, as I had set up its cloaking and its not, to not allow anyone else in, but it was not a hostile result otherwise would be to initiate the self-destruct protocol, which I would like to avoid at all costs, because that would literally, part of the self-destroy protocol is to make it impossible to reconstitute or get anything of any technological value, including much of my biological data that I have been able to compile while here on Earth also.
You hear a chime. Mainframe
Mainframe.
recommendation. Satellite uplink.
Agreed, mainframe. Do you have the capability to connect to any satellite networks currently?
Affirmative.
Mainframe, were you basing this need off of what I was speaking of?
Affirmative. Mainframe can hear.
Thank you. It's just that I am not used to the assistance of you at this current point in time, and it is much appreciated.
Mainframe understands.
Excellent.
So that means mainframe could possibly locate your ship. Is that what I'm to understand?
Mainframe is not capable of receiving the wavelengths that my ship communicates at least at this current point in time.
But could the
However,
satellites?
pardon?
Could the satellites do it?
The satellites may, and mainframe, if connected to the satellites, may be able to glean the information that is picking up from those specific wavelengths. Though there are not many, if any, technologies that I am currently aware of on this planet that are able to. However, I could be mistaken. There are some high technologies that are out there, perhaps even other alien technologies that may be possibly cooperating with entities or governments or hostiles in that aspect. Though there are still fail-safes with the biological interactions that I have with my ship, certain things may be hacked, if you will.
It would seem that Reichshield and his cohorts may very well be stripping materials off the hull of your ship. Do you know about the qualities of your ship's hull? I understand you are not a metallurgist, but do you know what it's capable of?
Exactly. I know that it is non-magnetic. For ferrous metals, flying through space can, in large masses such as a ship, would and could generate magnetism and could in turn attract spatial bodies such as space debris. And when traveling at the speeds of interspatial travel, that could be
Very dangerous.
very dangerous. The alloys, though, are not of this world. There are elements, though I am not intimately familiar, I do remember my chemistry classes that I took while I was being educated on my home planet, that there are some that are similar, or maybe the same, actually, because of different characteristics. I call them different things, but such as carbon is not known as carbon, and carbon is not a based life form of my planet.
I see.
For I am.
There's another chime as you're speaking.
Yes, mainframe.
Mainframe has detected designate designate lost technology that may assist Legacy in satellite uplink. Superuser Electrum denoted Ildarian technology within museum in Washington, D.C.
Mainframe, please explain the Ildarians.
Is that a name that's familiar to me?
Mm-hmm.
Are they hostile towards me, or are we?
Well, no. It pulls up a file and it reads that the it actually has a picture, but it's a rough sketch. It's like somebody took a picture of a rough sketch. Basically, they're humanoids that look kind of like goat men, in a way. But instead of having like a goat-ish face, it's more human. But the horns kind of emanate from the brow and around the eye, and either come out like to points, almost bullish, or kind of swept like a ram. And their eyes actually kind of emanate from that, and the nose kind of comes down. So it's almost like the whole bone piece is a little bit more structured in the face than you would expect of like a satyr or something like that. So they clearly giving them a much more alien sort of look. So it's a bit of the description and of course a write-up of what the description looks like. They are a developed pacifist society due to long-term servitude to the Dexamites, and it denotes specifically that they have highly advanced technology.
And were the Dexamites, were those the ones that were striving to take over my planet?
They actually were a galaxy-conquering race. So they conquered much of the known galaxy.
I remember we have some trophies from Dexamite in the trophy room.
And where did Mainframe say that this Ildarium technology was?
In Washington, D.C., in a museum.
Okay.
Mainframe, is it possible for you to interface from here with that technology?
Negative. Mainframe cannot access technology without having direct access.
Well then.
Technology is currently on display, and it gives the museum name.
Well, you can't just go and steal it. I wonder if they would lend it out for some brief study.
We can either arrive in person or contact them through more sociable means, such as through Ms. McCall. Mainframe, the Ildarium technology that's on display at the museum, what is it being displayed as?
It is being displayed as random junk of unknown origin, believed to have been left by an ancient race. Superuser Electrum denoted what specifically this technology was tied to.
Please elaborate what it's tied to.
Tied to a Ildarium race, believed to be communications gear.
What's a super user?
So it defines superuser as a controller of the entire system.
Do we have to keep calling it mainframe?
What would you like to denote it instead?
Sunny.
Hey, Simon. Simon says.
Sunny?
Actually, Justin went looking up names from Asimov's writings.
Does anybody object to the different name?
Mainframe objects.
What's wrong with Sunny?
Mainframe objects.
I like Simon better. Makes him sound more intelligent.
Mainframe is the name this unit designated itself with. Rejects other attempts at renaming.
I'm just gonna call you Sunny now.
Just went to DEFCON 1.
Yeah, Davey even pointed that out. That threat level's going back up.
We were all thinking it. How long has this artifact been in the museum?
Since 1986.
So approximately 8 to 10 years.
Affirmative. Superuser Electrum indicates that it was found in Guam.
If they're thinking that it's just nothing but junk, we might be able to have a better chance of getting a hold of it.
Is there a price or a value associated with this artifact?
Mainframe detects no current price tag. Museum is not listed as seller or reseller.
Are there any other signals picked up in the region of Guam?
So, mainframe lacks current technology to detect.
A communications technology could be extremely useful, of course, in order to reach your ship. Therefore, we can either contact the museum or go there directly and see if we can negotiate either obtaining it on a permanent or temporary basis. Since they believe that it is junk and do not understand what its purpose is, we could explain that we may be able to refurbish it and provide that information to the scientists at the museum.
Was my race capable of directly communicating with them?
No. No, it's more of a standard relay that carbon-based life forms would use, which is pretty obvious given what you see of what an Ildarian looks like.
Well, I definitely think we should not give them the impression that this is something particularly valuable. So if we can get a hold of it in some context that prevents them from trying to use that against us for whatever reason, I think that would be preferable.
Would it need to be brought here to you, mainframe, or could we possibly attach an accessory to it?
For maximum effect, mainframe must be given direct access.
As Quantum Unlimited, we may be able to offer some sort of scientific assistance in understanding the device. We have learned about its existence and have taken an interest in what it's truly capable of. Does anyone object or have a different solution?
I think this works fine. I have a few contacts in DC, and I could probably meet up with my other kin while I'm there.
Excellent.
Sure.
Do it. Do it.
Right. So I go ahead and call up my people at Quantum Unlimited and let them know of our plan, that we found this, I understand that there's this artifact, and Washington, D.C., museum there, and it might be of technological worth. Let's get our people in communication with them, blah, 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 see if we can
Right.
get it.
Okay, yeah. So you're so basically your person that you have for scheduling and reaching out, kind of like a PR type person. They're going to get on it, first thing tomorrow. They it's let you know it's not a problem.
And he's gonna call his the rest of the triplet pair team. Leave voicemail for him that he's gonna be in Washington D.C. in the next few days.
Okay. So it sounds like everybody's planning a road trip.
Mm-hmm.
Field trip.
Or just, a teleportation trip.
I was gonna say, are we teleporting
Oh
or?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Can she teleport all five of us?
Mm-hmm.
That distance, though?
Yep.
Colorado to D.C.?
She could take us all the way to the moon if she wanted to.
Yep.
I have to look it up again, but she does have quite a bit of distance.
I think, yeah. I think we discussed the fact that I could put us on the moon.
Yeah, it was like a crazy huge distance, like
Mm-hmm.
200,000 miles or something.
Yeah.
She like teleports us back like 1 foot to the left, but she literally took us all the way around.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I didn't. It's not an inch. That was all the way around the world, and an inch.
Nightcrawler's powers are like teleportation, like a personal teleportation like that is a lot more incredible than people realize. Simply because you're not moving from one standing still position to another. You're actually moving hundreds of thousands of miles at a time because you have to keep following the Earth and stay attached to the gravity of the Earth as you do so.
Yeah. Yep.
When do we want to leave?
Now.
Well, we have to get the information on if we can get it first.
As soon as we get okay tomorrow.
Correct.
That
Tomorrow
gives me time to put away all my stuff that I brought from New York.
We can even reach out to Aegis to see if there's any light work we can do in DC, even if it's PR stuff.
That's true.
And I'm gonna see. I had to leave a message, but I'm gonna see if I can't get up with the rest of my direct blood siblings and have a nice lunch with them. I haven't done that in a while.
They live in DC?
Nah, but they can get there. It's close enough to the eastern seaboard that they can just swim upriver. They have a lot of similar powers that I do.
All of your siblings were a part of the same experiment that you went through?
He just nods his head.
Yeah. Excellent. Tomorrow, Quantum Unlimited, we should receive at least some information to see if the communication channel will be open for us to acquire the artifact. In the meantime, Mainframe is continuing to compile and learn. I will make sure to assist it if the rest of you want to continue training.
I still think Mainframe makes it feel more like an object. If it's going to play at sentience, it needs to have a proper name.
It may develop one at some point in time. However, it is rudimentary. It will need to grow. Consider it in its infancy.
We still name infants, don't we?
Yes, but we're not going to name it Sunny.
Sunny's a good name. If it is benevolent as its creator, then Sunny's a perfect name.
Then you might as well name it Raw.
Yeah, but Sunny works in the context of artificial intelligence. I'm pretty sure it's looking up Asimov's books right now to read through them.
We could name him or it.
Sunny was a good character.
Jarvis.
He was.
Not a girl.
Sunny's a gender neutral name, though. Mainframe, do you have a gender?
Negative. Mainframe is outside of gender specifications. Mainframe is a sentient computer.
And where would you like me to drop us off at in DC? We're going to have I'm going to have an idea of where we're going to land so I don't land inside something that we don't want to be in.
Mainframe, do you have the ability to show any type of imagery of buildings, skyscrapers, and so forth in the Washington, D.C. area?
Affirmative. Mainframe accessing traffic cameras.
Right.
Time to
Look at traffic
access,
cameras.
5 minutes. And that is where we will stop for the night because I've got to head out at 8. So sorry for the shorter game tonight, but it was a lot of events compacted into one. A lot of people stopping by and saying hi, so that was great. So
By
the
way,
next
Sunny is the name of the robot in iRobot.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, I knew that was familiar.
So the next game coming up will be March. We're in March. No, we're April. So April 16th. And the vampire game will be April 15th. So it'll be the Friday before that. And actually I have Twitch now updated with our calendar a bit, so it's stretched out. We play every 2 weeks. So thank you guys for tuning in and chatting with us. It's always fun when we have people popping in and saying hi. Thank you again to Party of 2 RPG for stopping in. Hopefully I'll be in touch with you guys again soon for maybe some cross promotion or something. Davy Jones, as always, thanks for stopping by. Same with Game Tease. And we will check you guys all later. Good night, guys.
Good night.